Welcome to the Personal Perseverance Project. My name is David Atkins, retired New York State Trooper, $1 Million Direct Sales International Business Earner, author, and keynote motivational speaker, where each week I come here to help you break through your excuses so you can live a life up to your fullest potential. Let the project begin.
That is my mindset. I operate on a level of excellence, and you guys need to wake up every single day, and you need to operate on a level of excellence and create your masterpiece.
What's up, guys? This episode of the podcast is going to be a special one. It's actually going to be relatively short. Well, we'll see. It shouldn't be that long, but I think it's a super important topic and a powerful topic to speak about. I'm actually flying out tomorrow to Vegas, and I still have a ton to do today, but I wanted to put this episode together for you so you have this coming out for you each Monday. And this is an important topic, and it's something that is something that's near and dear to me. It's something that, and I'm going to share it in a second, something that I didn't always understand, something that I didn't always do, especially in my younger years, probably in my teens and 20s, and probably into my 30s when I started having kids. Did it really shift? And the message really is the power of having a why in your life, why you do certain things, what drives you. And really what I want to speak about today is the reason why you need a why in your life if you want to achieve something great, why you need a why in your life if you have certain goals you want to reach. Because if our life every single day is just about obtaining things for the internal, for ourselves, you're going to hit something tough in life, as we all do. And more times than not, we're going to quit because we don't have a driving force for why we do what you do. And the thing that drives you is when you have a driving force, a why that's bigger than you. And I want to share a story I often share when I speak on stage. And I'll never forget when my best friend Brink was shot and killed, and the day after, I'm in the kitchen at Brink's house with his wife, Barb, and she came up to me and she asked me to do Brink's eulogy. And I kind of was like, Barb, why are you asking me to do Brink's eulogy? He has two brothers. And she, explained that she really felt that there was nobody else that could honor and talk about Brink's life better than me. And I agreed to do it. And that day, I'll never forget, it is so vivid in my mind. And I remember how crowded the church was, the thousands of law enforcement officers that were there lining the streets. There was not even standing room in the church. The back doors were basically open. I was sitting about midway in the church, sitting in the pew. My mom was to my right. My wife, Kristen, was to my left. And it came time to go up and do Brink's eulogy. I remember my mom squeezing my right leg, my quad, right before I went up. And that day, that was when I was asked to do that. That was one of the hardest things to do, to go up and speak. I was nowhere near what I do now. And number one, I wanted to make sure I honored his life. And number two, people from the governor's office was there. All of my bosses were there. I just lost my best friend. I was very emotional. What am I going to say? Am I not going to say enough? Am I going to forget something? And I went up there that day on the altar and I did Brink's eulogy. And I could tell you this, I don't remember one thing I said. I don't. I actually went in my computer one time and searched through all the old files to see if I could find it somewhere. And to this day, I don't remember what I said. But what I learned that day is that when you have a why in your life, when you have a driving force for why you do what you do, you will do things in your life you never thought possible. And that day, Brink was my why, because it wasn't about me. My focus was about him and honoring his life. And what I realized that very day and going forward, and it became amplified when I had kids, that life, except for one tiny speck on this earth, the world is made up of people other than you. The world is made up of people other than us as individuals. It's about other people. And when you start looking at your goals and your dreams, and you have a driving force that's bigger than you, your kids, your spouse, your family, maybe it's your coworkers, maybe it's your best friend, maybe it's a special cause you're doing a fundraiser for, maybe it's a cancer cause. I think of when I ran the New York City Marathon and I was raising money for the Special Olympics, which really I got in because my best friend's daughter, Brink's daughter, who was an infant when he died, was born with Down syndrome. So I was able to raise money for the Special Olympics for Isabella, who is an athlete in the Special Olympics. Why I was able to push through the training, why was I able to push, and I'm not going to get into my marathon story, it's because I had a why. It was bigger than me. And I think we need to realize that life is bigger than ourselves. So if you set goals to start a new business or to earn a certain level of income or to get that promotion, yes, you can make it. Yes, I want to hit that goal. Yes, I want to start that business. Yes, there's no better fulfillment in life than progress, feeling fulfilled because you're accomplishing your goals and dreams. However, with that being said, when you hit turbulence, when you hit trials and tribulations, which you will, you need something that's going to push you through those hard times. And when you anchor your why on something bigger than you, your kids or a certain cause, you will push through them because you don't want to let those people down. So my question to you is, what is your why? Like, why do you do what you do? Have you ever even thought about this? Or is everything you're trying to accomplish and do just about you? Or are you at a point where you're hitting a roadblock and you're like, I can't get to that next level. Every time I hit resistance, I stop, I procrastinate. Well, as I say, you're one decision away right now from starting up again and moving forward. And if you attach a why to it, you will push through those hard times. I want to share another story, a story I once read. I forget what book it was in. It talks about a dad who was coming home from work, and he was pulling into his development, and there was a bunch of turns between his development and ultimately getting to his house. And in the distance, he saw smoke going up in the air, like it looked like something was on fire. And he had to pull over because he heard lights and sirens going off. And he pulled over, and these fire trucks are going by, one after the next, one and then another and another. And he lets all these fire trucks go by, and he goes back, and he's driving through this development, and he sees the fire trucks make a turn, and it's the same turn he has to make. And he makes the turn, then he drives, and he's getting where he has to make a left turn in the distance, and he makes a left turn, and so do the fire trucks in front of him. And then he's going, and he sees he's getting closer to this smoke and this fire. And finally, he goes to turn on his street. He turns on his street, and he gets there, and he sees that the fire trucks are in front of his house. And he realizes and knows that his wife and kids are home. And he pulls up, and he rushes out of the car, and he hears, and in the story, I forget if his wife said it or a fireman said it, but they said, your kids are still inside. Your kids are trapped inside. And this dad, like nothing stopped him. He goes running into a house. Probably anything you would do for the moms and dads. Goes running into this burning house with no equipment and goes right through the front door to go save his kids, right? That is the power of a why. Like, it didn't matter that he may get burned. It didn't matter that he may die. What mattered is the people in that house were his family, and that why is what drove him to push through, running through the fire and running through that front door. And that story and that analogy was like, wow, that's powerful. Like, it really puts perspective of what a human being, what somebody's willing to do or sacrifice or push through a hard time when they have a why that's bigger than themselves. And I'll tell you, on the days that you don't feel like doing the things you need to do, I just think of yesterday. It was, I woke up in the morning after the weekend, and it was a Monday morning. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. And I didn't have the energy to wake up and do my normal morning routine, right? Which, is gratitude and prayer and reading personal development, and then ultimately I end with a great workout. I was tired. I was not motivated. I did do my workout, more or less. It was going through the motions. And then I finished, and the whole rest of the day, I kind of felt off. It may have been my sleep. It may have been the weekend. It may have been what I was eating on the weekend. It could have been a bunch of different things. But the point is this: what drove me is I realized that my health, me being the best version of myself, being physically fit, being strong, eating healthy foods, focusing on gratitude, my why, it's for so many things that are bigger than myself. Number one, my health is for my kids. Number two, my health is for my wife. Number three is I want to live a long, healthy, fulfilling life to ultimately see my grandkids. But what drives me to do that is my family. But paired with that at the same time is I will not go on a stage and be a keynote motivational speaker or an author that wrote a book and just talk about other people's stories. Like, I walked the walk, and I knew that I can't go out there and inspire other people to cast vision for their life and have goals, and to, not complain and not play victim mentality, play victor mentality, and have a positive mindset, and realizing life is hard, but you still got to have discipline and have consistency if I'm not willing to do it myself. And the lesson yesterday was a reminder that there are times when, more times than not, you're not going to feel like doing those things. Like in your gut you should be doing them, but you have the voice in your head that's saying, take a day off. Don't worry about it. Eat that bad food. Skip the workout. It's okay. And for me, it's like, no, I'm about never miss a Monday. I'm about you develop grit and perseverance and true discipline and consistency when you do it, when you don't feel like doing it. How do I do that? I anchor it on a why. It's about the people that I speak. This week, I'm going to be in Vegas. The people in the audience need me to be the best version of myself. I know to do that, I have to feel good physically. I have to be in a good space mentally. And that's why I went through, even if I went through the motions, I still did it, because now it's another check mark where I was able, another, token that I paid to say, you know what? I did it on that day, and I developed a stronger level of grit and perseverance for showing up on a day I didn't feel like it. So those days when you don't feel like it, you have to have a why. So guys, as we wrap up, I'm not sure, this didn't go too long today. This is really about, when you finish listening to this, to really think about what is your why. And if it's a little foggy and cloudy, this is a time to think about it. This is a time to maybe go for a walk in quiet. Sometimes I do that. I go for a walk, or if I go for a run. Today when I ran, there was some time I just shut the music off and I just listened to the outside just so I can think. And maybe you need time just to think. Maybe you have a thinking chair in the office, or maybe it's in a drive to work. Shut the radio off and just think. Think about your why. Think about your goals. Think about your dreams. And if you don't have a why, figure out what it is and write it down. And every day, as part of your vision, when you're reading your goals and dreams and the power of writing things down, read your why. So it's a reminder that you do the things even when you don't want to, that you push through the hard times. Why? Because that why is going to be the anchor in your life. So guys, that's my main message for you guys today, is you need to have a why. You need to make sure it's clear. That's what's going to drive you, because no one is immune to life's problems. Life has a funny way of challenging us when we set out to do something. And the only thing that really is going to push you through the hard times is the power of having a why. So guys, with that, have a great week. Have a great week. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Personal Perseverance Project. My goal every single day is to help people live up to their fullest potential. So please share this episode, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even leave a review. Be sure to connect and follow me on all my social media channels. And if you would like more information about me potentially being a keynote speaker at your event, or maybe you want to work with me one-on-one as your private coach, be sure to go to my website at davidatkins.com for more information. Thank you.